Welcome to MIRD Season 1, first playoff race 11 already. Time flies when you're having fun. We are at the first playoff. The first cutoff happened. We have now 7 cars massively limped in comparison to everyone else. They will be trailing the pack tonight, and we're almost at start time, so it doesn't really matter anymore because we're gonna have a pretty long formation lap. Because we are at Laguna Seca, which means we are at a road course, our third road course so far, which means it's not an oval. It's not just turning left and or right or whatever. And I think we have our first issue. Oh well, let's actually take a little bit of a break because I was about to announce the grid while we do the formation lap, and Chiquita Milka decides to die. So in the first line we have Mecha Spider and Chiquita Milka, who already has an issue, which I'm not sure what happened there, but we probably have an info soon. Jazz Cranston in the second row. So yeah, let's see how this plays out. Let's just continue with let's see if that's an issue they can fix or not. Vincent Meadow right behind. Speed McZumzum there. Super Bingle pretty high in the stand, pretty far ahead as well. Windfish Rock and Fastboy, just the last name, despite having one of the limped cars pretty far in front now. Afolabi Abara, Kawai McDesu, Godfall, Cherry Meadow next to Brian Henderson. Aventus Flowerchild and Java Cake behind two of the slower cars. The Avenger, Raven Chrono also really far in the back. Joseph Peter Pinkelman, Noah Niola, Jade Sen, Alana Bodell, Scott Matthews in last. And there is the car of Chiquita Milka, who seems to have issues. He's on the line right now. He's actually on 16th. He barely made it in. And now in the first race of playoffs, he's already having issues, so that might spell disaster. If we actually look at the qualifying times over here, you will definitely see that cars like Bodell and Matthews definitely had much slower times, but most of the other ones didn't do that bad despite having quite a limped car, so that's pretty interesting. Probably just bad luck on behalf of the other drivers, like Jaffa Cake, Graham Cornwell, and Joseph Peter Pinkelman, Jane Sen as well. Noah Niola really far in the back. They never been known for doing well at the qualifying, but that's still pretty disappointing for them. Credits to me for sending that hard mod. Raven found that mod, so thank you to him for that. We are now I forgot. Yeah, we saw the corkscrew just then in the small window. I'll definitely show it again when we are at it, because that's the most interesting part of the track. And away we go. We're now on the start finish line. Something is blinking. I'm not sure what or why, but that doesn't matter. I hate this camera. Is there a good one? This is nice. Alright. Mecha Spider led from the qualifying, now still in the lead in front of Super Bingle, Cranston, Windfish Rock, Abara, Godfall in 6th right now. Speedy McZumzum 7th. Vincent Meadow climb up a few spaces. Brian Henderson pretty far in front, and Aventus Flowchild right now taking them on the inside. Pretty surprising, because when I did my testing, the cars that I limped they started together on in the last part of the race, of the grid, basically after qualifying. So I'm pretty surprised that they are doing as well as they are doing right now. You know, I'm not judging. Good for them. So yeah, that was the corkscrew just then. I again forgot to actually talk about it. Yeah, I don't have a car anymore that's going through it. Okay, cool. What happened to... Oh yeah, Chiquita Milka out with a gearbox issue. And we're now having the first car that is crossing the line, actually. Mecha Spider. Yeah, now we can see Chiquita Milka down 42 seconds. He should be down diagnosed with a gearbox issue also in this board pretty quickly. Mecha Spider in the lead in front of Super Bingle. So we are going to just follow one lap on board of the number 45 if we can find a cockpit thing. Yeah, Rip Chiquito, that's gonna be a big issue for him and his dreams to make it to the finals. Just a flat out last place already. That's gonna be a big issue for him. Yeah, so we actually have one of the cars that is already out in the top 10 despite having that big handicap. It's Brian Henderson in 9th. So yeah, this is the corkscrew. It goes down and to the right, which is really difficult to do correctly, and you can definitely screw up your car on that. And there we go. Speaking of the devil, Vincent Miller, they're sliding down. Doesn't seem to actually damage his car much. Didn't seem like a big issue. He had a bit of a lead in front of the other cars behind him. But he definitely loses it, spins around, loses a lot of ground to the cars in front of him, but seems to be fine. Still in front of Brian Henderson, who is down in 9th, so not big of an issue. Aventus Flowerchild really trying to overtake Henderson, but it's not happening right now. Really interesting that. Raven Cronwell in 11th. In front of Jane Sen right now, sandwiched by both of the Team Pepega cars. Both, of course, in the lead right now. Ventus Flowerchild about 20 points in front of Jane Sen. And there you can see the issue that Henderson has with his handicapped car. He just loses on the straight, has way less speed and loses to Flowerchild, who easily overtakes him. Who is now down to 10th, Brian Henderson. And Flowerchild making his way up, might be now able to take some more places. Now he's not being stopped by the slow car in front of him. Mecha Spider still really comfy in the lead. He's been doing pretty well the last few races. Of course, aided by really good qualifying. Don't even... okay, the helicopter view is not kind to this mod, but that's fine. Right now, the overhead view from the... whoops. From the chicane, you can see them all kind of sliding, but so far no big deal. Let's see if Vincent Meadow actually can do the thing this time. Yeah, no problems there. Flowerchild seems to be okay too. The 4-pack car pack as well going through there, no problem. The Avenger right now into 14th place, actually, just the last name, Fastboy. It really far in the back, as well as Noah and Yola, both cars who are right now in the top 4, I believe. So that's a kind of a... No, Yola's not in top 4, but it's definitely a car that's still in the running for a top 4 finish. Jaffa Cake, Karai McDesu, Cheryl Meadow, Alana Bodell, of course, all already out, as well as Scott Matthews, who is right now last. So they are all fighting still for 17th. Out of them, obviously, Brian Henderson doing much better than everyone else. Still in 10th place, not being overtaken by the 59 car of Raven Cronwell, who's now taking a stab at it and finally being able to take him on the inside. Jane Sen going really right there, really wide there. Cronwell might not be able to defend that. 10th place now he is. Okay, it's fine. Jane Sen also on the outside, not really being able to take him, but now finally getting through. Cornwall, of course, a bit down to the pack. There was quite a bit of a gap, which the cars don't really seem to recover from, because right now there's this four car pack a bit, but they're also kind of divided. In front, of course, Mecha Spider in front of Super Bingle. Jazz Cranston third, who is also still a car that's in contention for the top 4 spot. Winfrey Schrock in 4th, which is really good for T Pepega, of which the other cars are kind of struggling right now. Vincent Slotchet only in 9th, and I believe Jane Sen's in 12th, yes. So that's not as good as we are expecting for them. Jansen, Avensis, and Cornwell aren't currently too worried about this since they are fairly decent in the top 5. Yes, but you still need those points right now to cement your place into the top 4 already, or to make it into the next round, because as we saw with Flower Child, they had a 120 points lead at some point, and now they are only 20 points in the lead for the championship. So anything can happen, really. Grodful seen here now in 6th, easily the best car of Team Firebrand so far. Not really been much of an issue for him to qualify. In the first few races he definitely struggled, but then it got better and better. Speedy McZoom, also one of the cars that just got way better now in 7th, in the number 77, in place 7 as well, of course. In 4th overall right now, so definitely a car still with championship ambition. Their sponsor, Strong String, of course, very well pleased with the number 77 car. Winston Meadows still in 8th. He's been doing okay, I'd say. He is definitely on the line for not making it into the top 12. He has a bit of an issue on his bum. I don't know if that was from the light tap he had earlier, if there was another crash that we missed. Might need to roll back on that one. And this Flower Child now up to 9th. I don't know if he was that before. Raven Cornwell finally being able to break free from Brian Henderson, now in 10th. He was there before. Jane Sen 11th. Plinkelman in 12th, and Brian Henderson still in 13th, but he is right now going down the paces. He apparently had a pretty good qualifying for what his car is capable of, but he is right now getting passed down. But he is probably gonna be the best car of the West, so that's gonna help him on his quest to secure that 17th place. The Avenger, right on his tail actually, on 14th. He's kind of holding down the rest of the pack, who is still fighting. And I believe that was that? Oh, that looked like that they had a spin, but it wasn't actually. It was just a really weird turn around the corner. Yeah, they are kind of limping Fastboy, Noaniola, and Jaffa Cake right now, kind of holding them back, not really being able to overtake them, which is of course a big issue because they really need the points. Just the last name, Kawhi McDessu, Cheryl Meadow, Alana Bordell, and Scott Matthews, all of course already out, so they don't care. Is stream laggy? Oof. So like, is the frame again, or is it the internet? Because I mean, yeah, that just happens, I guess. Really sorry for that. I hope it's fine. I don't know how bad it is. 4 FPS. What? Why? It was fine before, wasn't it? Better now. Alright. So we just had a bit of a frame drop, I guess. Cool. So did we have an internet problem or frame drop, actually? Oh, I love this cam. This is a pretty good cam for the chicane, and now it's gone. Cool. I'm wondering when we'll have a pit stop on this track. Maybe we won't, and I'll look like an idiot for picking this track. That would be pretty unfortunate. The Avenger still defending that 14th, I think that's 40th place. Yeah, 40th place of his. Going real slow into the chicane. Must be aggravating for Nola. What happened to Fastboy? Fastboy now down into last. Let's see what happened there. Fastboy down to last. That's really unfortunate for them. They're, of course, still in the running for the championship at the moment. Oh, that doesn't look good. Oh, actually a crash over there with Super Bingle. Bingle out of the pits. So we did have a pit stop already. And first one was apparently Super Bingle to go into the pits. On the re-entry, collided with Noah Niola. It looks like. Not really on the re-entry, just kind of collided. Bingle seems to be okay with recovering. Definitely lost a lot of space, a few spaces there. But yeah, I believe she is gonna be fine. Super Fast Boy definitely taking the L on that one. We don't have yellow flags, so that's not going to be an issue. Yeah, now most of the cars, or at least a few more cars going into the pits. Our race leader, Mecha Spider, has been leading from start to finish. They collide with me. Oh, wait. Bingo murdered the pitch. Yeah, halfway through typing it caught itself. What? Like, audio works perfectly, but video sometimes just goes slideshow. Okay, cool. Halfway through typing it, it caught itself. Alright. Vincent also going to the pits. I think that's the only two cars right now. There's a third one down the road. That seems to be Raven. Cromwell. Maybe it was a murder. Wow. It's fine, Bingle. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Bingle was one of the cars that was pretty far in front, so that's why they actually had such a re-entry where all the cars still were on the track. Vincent Meadows gonna be having a bit of an odd re-entry as well. Might be colliding with Bingle as well. Hope not. Mecha Spider seems to be out okay. Vincent Meadow, of course, already has a bit of a bum. Seems to be fine on the re-entry. We have Cornwell coming out of the pits third. Don't you dare. They will have to pit eventually and then I'll run away with it. Maybe. Cornwell seems to be fine. Brian Henderson shaking a bit. I don't know if that's due to the limited car or if he just has his car on vibration. I don't know. The Avenger seems to be fine. Yeah, the track seems, the re-entry seems to be clean now, so there shouldn't be an issue. All the slow cars have been in the pit. Scott Matthews, pretty much all behind each other. There's the next patch of cars. With this, we might have an interesting re-entry with Jess Cranston especially, and Speedy McZoomzum, of course, the cars that have been in the lead of the race. Or at least near the lead, so that could they will definitely be near the other cars when they re-entry. His car's set to silent, but his mom is calling. Just Cranston seems to be going out pretty good. Windfish Rock as well. Spirit seems to have a bit of an issue, not really coming out. There's Mecha Spider. Let's see what the re-entry says. Oh, not. That's just Cranston. I don't know. Mecha Spider is still on the outside, so Jazz Cranston is actually going to take the lead against Mecha Spider here. Windfish Rock in second, so both of them having pretty good pit stop, or Mecha Spider just having a really bad one. Quadfull in fourth. Abauer. There's Bingle. Oh, actually overtaking Flower Child. So that strategy they had with colliding with Fast Boy actually paid off, if you want to call it a strategy. Speed McZoomzum and Vincent Meadow also not doing too bad. Jane Sand right out behind Pinkelman. Cromwell, see, I think they lost a few spaces. This little GUI is not gonna be active. Brian Henderson still in front of Jaffa Cake, which is a bit of a surprise. The Avenger, just the last name, and then we have all the cars that have been in the back. Fast Boy just now coming out of pits. They are gonna be last. They're gonna have a mountain to climb in 22nd right now. So if they actually want to score any points at all, or like any good points, that's gonna be a bit of a climb. So yeah, our new race leader, Jazz Cranston, actually in front of Windfish Rock and Mecha Spider. Quadfull in fourth, Abauer in fifth. The GUI is probably gonna be active now. Yep, Jazz Cranston, Windfish Rock, Mecha Spider, Quadfull, Abauer, Bingle still in sixth despite of that crash. So you have to wonder where they would have ended up if they didn't crash. Maybe even in first or second. 4 seconds down right now. Flower Child definitely doing pretty well from that pit stop. Pretty good pit stop there. Speed McZoomzum in 8th, which is still pretty good. Vincent Meadow, despite having a few issues on the track, in 9th. Definitely respectable. Jane San in 10th. Then we have Pinkelman. Cornwell still in 12th, which is probably fine for them. Noah Niola in 13th. Brian Henderson in a respectable 14th, might lose that spot to Jaffa Cake, so they right now have Jaffa Cake behind them, which who is still in the running. They have Fast Boy behind them, and they have, of course, Milka behind them, who is out with a camshaft. I believe, was it a camshaft? I don't know, doesn't say. The fastest lap right now belongs to number 45, which actually is Super Bingle, so they have been doing amazingly despite having a crash. The fastest track on the lap on the track right now goes to them. Second, as of now, is for Avensis Flowerchild. Raven Conroe with the third fastest lap. Jade Sen fourth and Winfish Rock fifth. So they are actually doing amazingly. Of course, Chiquilimbic not even finishing one lap. The slowest fastest lap actually goes to Cheryl Meadow right now with a 1:27. So you can definitely see the difference between the cars that have been limped and the cars that haven't. Because they are a good 2 seconds slower per lap, and that's a big issue on tracks like these. Of course, that's gonna cost you on the long run. There's some great scenery over there. 0 frames. It is working out so far. What? Just gave them a 360 view of the track. We can't see anything. Huh? Is it good? What's going on? Why can you not see anything? Why are you running? Chiquito Milka actually has the fastest lap ever. Can't even be measured. Can you see the race right now? Is it good? Is it fine? Are we good? I'm scared. Why is things weird? We are now going into the 12th lap. Fine now. Alright. So was it just freezed on 0 FPS for a minute? Bingle, what are you seeing? Or what's the issue? Because you had a camera on other things. Could be. It's working for me the entire time. Alright. God, this game. Oh, weird, it's frozen here. Okay. Yeah, I might need to reload. But that's weird, if you can hear me, then that's pretty odd. Like, since I said something last time, it never froze again. On both our computers. Interesting. That's, something else, definitely. Wait, what's going on? Oh, I'm still in fastest lap. Okay, I was really confused there for a sec. Yeah, nothing. I don't think anything really happened since on the chicane, which is a bit almost disappointing, but also, of course, good for the safety of the drivers. Jane Sen, wonderful. I love this because it's like it's such a mean corner. It's really cool. No, they're also making it through. Of course, right now, a car that's not looking too hot, only in 13th place. Brian Henderson still hanging on to that 14th place. Jeff Cake still haven't found a way to get past them, which is a real shame. Because they definitely need every point they can get. Nothing happened at all. Alright. It's fine now, I freshed them both. Alright. What safety? Cromwell has written in his contract they might die and nobody's insured. No, it's fine. We're not WWE. Ayo. People here drivers here are actually insured. First, by being able to actually secure one place again, overtaking Scott Matthews. So yeah, that's gonna be important for them. Every point, of course, can matter, as we saw with the last cutoff, where actually 1 point decided the fate of Brian Henderson. Who just with 1 point more could have made it into the top cut. At least still have a chance to make it into the finals. Now lap 13, we are gonna hit the last 2 laps soon. Jess Cranston seems to be destined for a victory here, which will massively help them going forward. Maybe even break it to the top 5 even. Yeah. Also, you might have noticed that the map is kind of floating, but don't worry about it. With Fishrock doing amazingly on this track as well. Usually not doing too hot, but this seems to be his jam. In second place right now, he'll definitely need the points as well. And Team Pepega will definitely appreciate his efforts towards the team victory, which they might have pretty secured, but if one of their members falls out early and another team, for example the NAS, is going to do much better, actually secures all their drivers into at least top 8, then that might be an issue for them going forward if they lose with Fish Rock early. Super Bingle is right now in 6th still, doing pretty well. Might not be able to take another spot, but 6th is definitely pretty solid. Aventus Flowerchild in 6th, and none of their enemies are actually in front of him right now who are fighting against him in the championship. BD Maximum, of course, right behind him, who is still in contention in 8th. Vincent Mirdo in 9th. His car, his trunk, there's definitely not much left of that. All the suitcases in there probably smashed. We have a pit stop. Super Bingle going to the pits. Let's actually watch them, because this might be let's see what's going on here, because this is pretty interesting. If they actually change the tires, or if this is just a penalty, might be for the unsafe exit earlier. So when they crashed into Fastboy, yeah, I think that was just a penalty. So they definitely got a penalty there. Now, I believe almost to the back of the pack, not quite, behind Raven Cornwell, who was in 12th, so they are now in 13th. Not too bad, but yeah, that was a stop-and-go penalty, probably because of the incident with Fastboy earlier. They had to still do... that's interesting. That's definitely pretty disappointing for their team, but, you know, if there is justice to dish out, then it has to be served when it's still hot. You can, of course, argue if that was a safe, unsafe exit, or if that was an unsafe re-entry of Fastboy or an unsafe exit from Super Bingle. You can decide on that, but the judges have spoken and gave the penalty to Binglepin. And now we have a race winner, Jazz Cranston, winning the Laguna Seca race 11 in front of Winfrey Schrock, Mecha Spider, Godful in 4th, Bauer in 5th, Flowerchild moving up 1 space now in 6th, and Spinner in 7th. Vincent Mirdo actually also benefiting from that penalty, now in 8th. Jane Sen in 9th, pretty good result for them. Pinkelman breaking into top 10. Cornwell in 11th. Super Bingle still, despite the penalty and also suffering from that crash, still in 12th, which is really remarkable. Aren't I 9th? Screw your justice. No, you're on 13th. Jaffa Cake managing to finally overtake Van Henderson in 14th. Henderson in 15th, doing the best of the rest. 16th we have the Avenger, just the last name in 3rd from the cutoff Ford. 4th we have Kawaii Medesu. Fastboy actually overtaking another car and ending in in 19th. 20th we have Cheryl Mirdo, Alana Bodell, both the mid-O cars not doing great. Scott Matthews in last, and of course Chiquito Milka out early with an issue. I believe it was the camshaft. It was the gearbox. It takes a bit to update. Mirdo, she never was on 13th. She dropped behind Cornwell and everybody between moved 1 up. She was in 12th. Yeah, whatever. She is in 12 now, so yeah. I thought 13th or 12th. I just looked where you were and counted 1 down, because I'm an idiot. So much for that plan. Yeah, all of Team Paprika on top 10. Yeah, not too shabby, I'd say. I don't have the parser open, but that's not an issue. Let's just save this as... Alright, cool. Also, this one doesn't have a finish screen for some reason, but that's not a problem. Alright, cool. Let me whip up the parser real quick. I hope this is the upgraded one. I should be. Okay, cool. Let's change to race 11. And it changed, so this should be working. MIRD scores. Single race. Yep, there we go. Let's see how we all did. Jazz Cranston with his win for the Yorkshire Dragons. Really good performance of them. Mecha Spider in 3rd, so definitely doing their their team member who didn't make the cut really proud. The only 2 cars that were actually leading the race, both of the same team. Winfrey Schrock between that in second, probably might be his best performance. Did he win a race? I'm not sure. Definitely really good performance of him. Godful in 4th, doing the best of Firebrand. The best NASCAR is the 5th. Abara, Spin Zoom in 7th, of course, also doing pretty well. Team Papega in 6th. Mid Incorporated, Vincent Meadow, the only car standing for his team, in 8th. Jane Sen in 9th. And Pinkelman in 10th. Raven Cornwell in 11th, right behind his arguably heel teammate. Firebrand's Super Wingle in 12th because of that penalty really late into the race. Noah Niola in 13th. Jaffa Cake in 14th. Brian Henderson doing the best of the rest with 1 minute down. So you definitely see what the downgrade for their car does to them. In 15th, The Avenger in 16th, last name, Kawai Desu Fastboy doing the worst of all the rest of the best of the rest of the cars that made the playoffs. Jerry Meadow and Alana Bodell, and in last, not counting Chiquito Milka, is Scott Matthews. What does that mean for the overall standings? The overall standings, of course, in the bottom department, we see the Avenger creeping up to Kawai Desu might be able to not end in last. Kawai Desu 1 point down to Alana Bodell. Just the last name, Jerry Murder, Scott Matthews, and Brian Hansen still the queen of the crop. The queen of the crap, actually. In the new cutoff zone, we now have Chiquito Milka, who is now almost 80 points down to the line. This is going to be a steep mountain to climb. Jaffa Cake also dropped down now. I believe they weren't in the zone before. Let's compare. Jaffa Cake was in 12th, so she was the line now below it. Super Bingle was in 13th, now in 14th. Still pretty good chances to make it. Of course, that race, if she actually finished in 9th, that would have helped a lot. But yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. Vincent Meadow climbing 1 space from 13th into 14th into 13th, and only 11 points down of Mecha Spider, who made a huge jump from 15th to 12th. With that really good performance, of course, but still really close to being eliminated. Winfrey Schrock also making, actually not making the jump, but definitely important points for him in 11th now. Bauer was in 10th before, now still 10th. Noah Niola was actually in 7th still, now down to 9th. Of course, that performance wasn't really doing well for much for them. Joseph Peter Pinkelman in 8th, keeping their position from after last race. Raven Cornwell dropping down from 5th to 7th. That's definitely not because of their performance, but only just because all the other cars doing so well. Godful doing a really large jump from 9th to 6th, actually. That's going to be really good for them. By far the best Firebrand car. Might be the last Firebrand car after the cutoff. Fastboy dropping down from 3rd to 5th. That performance didn't help them at all if they want to make it to the championship. Jess Cranston in 4th now, so they are right now in the potential range for the championship, only 50 points down off the leader. That's looking pretty good for the Yorkshire Dragon car. Yeah, Speedmax Zoom Zoom still in 3rd, moving up 1 spot from 4th to 3rd. The 2 leading cars, nothing changed here. Jane Sen in 2nd and Evans Flotchard in 1st. But the gap increased a bit. Evans Flotchard was only 20 points ahead, now 32 points. But that's, of course, not much. That can change in 1 race if they are not looking out. The team standings should be pretty, but they are... interesting. Should I have changed that? Should I have done anything with that? Because I didn't. Let me just see. Give me a sec. Overlay team points. Yeah, because it's pretty in the thing. It's not. Because I didn't change it from how it was last time. Why doesn't it look pretty? Should look pretty. Because it's still the same URL, so it should have changed. I mean, it doesn't matter because the points are still... It's actually not updated. Huh. Interesting. Did I not click on the right thing? Did I not? Give me a sec. Okay, it didn't upgrade. There we go. Hell yeah, brother. I'm sorry for scaring you. It's fine. So here's the new pretty team standings. Team Pepega in the lead with almost 100, with a bit of over 100 points. The NAS in second, definitely still creeping up. Of course, we have a few cars that might be due to the shopping block, so that's gonna be interesting. The NAS and Team Pepega, of course, the only two teams that don't have any cars that have dropped yet. Yorkshire Dragons in third, with, of course, two pretty good performances of Jazz Cranston and Mecha Spider. Brian Henderson, the only car of them that is out. Awagiri Heel in fourth, pretty close to the Dragons. Still doing pretty well. I believe they should both make it. So Firebrand right behind it, and MIRD Incorporated, of course, in last because they are already missing two cars. And Vincent Mirdo might be the third now. So that's cool. Realistically, Shikido needs to basically make top 10 this race. Oh yeah, at the very least, they probably need to make top 5. Fastball was kind of murdered halfway into the race. Yeah, Kawai's dragging down my team so hard. He is, but that's just how it works. So let's look at the standings again. What are the cars to watch? Of course, except for the leading cars. Of course, everyone in below the red line right now. So Vincent Meadow, Super Bingo, Jaffa Cake, and Shikido Milka. Of course, all the cars to watch to see how, if they can still save themselves. Then the cars right above the line are going to be very important, like Mecha Spider, Windfish, Schrock, Abara, also in reach of still falling out the top 10. I'd say pretty much every car that's below 2,000 points right now is gonna be in danger. Pinkelman might be fairly safe. So I think NOLA depends highly on their performance. They've shown that they often are not doing too well in races, so they are really hit or miss. Either they win or they just drop it to last. So this is gonna be very important for them. Abara, of course, the same thing for them. They are really situational as well. Both of the same team, so that fits. Windfish Rock has the same issue, but if he dishes out another performance like in that race in second, he's gonna be all fine. Mecha Spider has been doing really well the last few races, so let's see if he can keep that streak alive.